Okay, I'm doing my informative speech on Poco Bueno, who is a foundation quarter horse back in the 1950s. And this is his grandsire, Poco Pine Silly, Natalie Wood. Yes, I got her cremated because she is my baby girl, and I miss her. And here are my friends who are going to listen to my speech. I think I got everyone. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so Poco Bueno, he was a foundation quarter horse, and he was a barrel racer, and he had the perfect quarters to present with the judges, and that's how he qualified for the American Quarter Horse Association. Poco Pine Silly came from Poco Bueno, and she had all of his same markings. She was a beautiful quarter horse. She had the hocks and the hindquarters that Poco Bueno possessed. She did, however, have a disease, and that disease was EPM. It's a neurological disease, and it kills horses. Horses get it from peeing on hay, or from possums peeing on hay, and getting it just by eating that hay, and then, like, once they get it, their body just breaks down. And it's a very serious disease, and I kind of want to go into depth about that disease. You know, people don't take that serious, and I lost what I feel like is my best friend from that disease. It was heartbreaking completely. I miss her dearly, and you know, EPM is a serious thing. You know, every horse has it. Some horses can't fight it off, some horses can. In this case, she could not. After months and months of treatment at University of Illinois Veterinary Clinic, we have tried very hard to get her to overcome this disease, this illness, and vaccines, everything, medication. It would not work, and I want to spread the awareness for EPM. It's really bad disease, and Poco Bueno ties into that because he passed away from EPM as well. And I know it's not related, like it's not something that can be passed down through genes. However, it's kind of weird that, you know, his granddaughter, his great granddaughter got that same disease that he did. She was just the amazing quarter horse, just like he was. And for him just to pass so suddenly, and for her to pass at the age of 5, it makes me think maybe there is something that, you know, is tied to that. However, you know, through studies and through scientific evidence and the veterinarian, like CDC, that's not plausible. They've done studies on it, and it's not linked to genetics whatsoever. So that leaves us with a question, well, what do we do for this EPM? If it's not something that we can stop, how can we prevent it? How can we, you know, every horse has it, so how are we going to determine if, oh, one horse is going to pass away? And, you know, these horses aren't cheap. They're not, you know, if you get a good bloodline horse, it's not something that's just going to be like, okay, well, you know, sorry, you just lost $100. No, we're talking like a couple $1,000, and not like, you know, 10,000, like more like 30, 40, $50,000 for a good bloodline horse. How can we prevent this from happening? And not that money matters by any means, because no amount of money can replace what I have spent with my, her name was Natalie, but her official name was Poco Pine Silly, Poco Bueno. And, you know, it's, how are we going to prevent this? And I got to thinking, you know, got on my Facebook and got talking to my friends. Hey guys, how can we do this? How can we prevent EPM? I even started epm.org/Natalie Wood. How can we prevent this? And it's simple. Cover your hay. Make sure your horses, if they are in pasture, make sure that they have grazing muzzles on so they're not just stuffing their face 24/7. Make sure that they are taken care of properly. Make sure that when you give them hay, you know for sure that no animals have been able to urinate and have feces on that hay. Make sure that there has been no, you know, urination through other animals on even the grass they eat, which is very hard. I understand. I might be, you know, from Chicago, as some of you may know, and it's like, really, Chicago? How do you guys have possums and raccoons up there? Well, we do. And it's a serious issue we have up there by losing these really nice horses, and horses that do become part of our family. How can we protect them? Cover it. Cover your hay, cover your food that you're feeding your horses. If they are out in pasture, put a grazing muzzle on them. It's that simple. You will lose your best friend if you do not. There's a good chance that you will, and it's becoming a serious issue back home. It's a lot of my friends who have horses, they are saying, hey, Michelle, where did you go to treat Natalie? Where did you go to treat, what kind of medication did you get her on? How did you handle this? And I give them as much information as I can. The more, as time goes by, the more cases of EPM comes out, and it's a serious issue. I don't want other people to have to look at their horse in a box like this, and you can clearly see on her box, it says, in loving memory of Natalie Wood, her birth date 3/5/2003, and she passed away 10/22/2010. And that was the saddest day of my life. I had to make that decision where I was looking at her. It got to the point where she wasn't able to eat. She wasn't able to stand. I would give her, just wrap my arms around her neck, and she would collapse to the ground. It was the hardest decision I have ever had to make. I don't regret it. I did it out of love. I did it because I loved her. But if I can prevent another person from going through that kind of heartbreak, I will. And I want to let everyone know out there that EPM is serious. And even though Poco Bueno died of EPM as well, but back then they didn't know what EPM was. They didn't have all the researches that we do now. And it's very important that we cover their food. We make sure that they are taken care of, that we make sure that their food is protected, because what they eat goes into their body. And it's sad. It's very sad, but this is a serious issue that we all need to be aware of. And, for all those horse lovers out there who have lost, their horse to EPM or any other disease, I feel you. I'm with you 100%. You have my back. I understand what you're going through. I really do. There's not a day that goes by that I don't miss Natalie. She was, and I always think of Poco Bueno too. That was her great-grandfather. He was the perfect foundation quarter horse, in my belief. He had the hindquarters of amazing, just perfectly round, perfect height, perfect chest, perfect muscle, just perfect. He was the definition of perfect in the horse world. And it's really sad that he was taken so young that, that's how he had to go. And same with Natalie, she's only 5 years old and she passed away that young from this disease. It's a very sad, sad thing. And I hope that I can get out there and tell the world EPM is real, guys. In the horse community, be careful. EPM, you think, oh, it's just a neurological disease, they get it through anything. No, they get it strictly from raccoons, possums, mice, any type of animal peeing on hay, and that even a little piece of hay, most horses have EPM. However, some do react bad, and bad meaning death. And death, is that how you want to remember your animal? In a box? Because I'm going to tell you, it's not fun. It's not awesome. She goes everywhere with me, and it breaks my heart that I had to, instead of putting her in a trailer, I'm putting her in my car, in my front seat of my car when we get, shipped somewhere else. And it's not fun at all. So my informative speech is just, EPM is serious, and I want to spread awareness for that. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and have a good day. Thank you so much. Goodbye.